amount?
Well, it's
Because
30,000 times 21%.
Right, but are there any add-ons to that?
No, that
The
will be
total
it.
is 30,000.
Yeah.
So I can assess 21% of the 30,000 divided by 49 units.
However you do that over there. I just didn't, the question was if it was an issue for you. It's not an issue for us, and it's
Yeah.
not an issue for River Bend, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
We have monies. right
Okay,
now.
that's
Yeah.
it. So it will be due immediately, so I'll get it out early next week, and then I'll get the check, because the money's already in the account to get going.
Well, just one more quick thing, if it becomes, I don't know, I probably really can't speak to this, but if parking becomes an issue for a couple of days, they can certainly use our guest spots.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
We always do.
Okay.
So there's a motion and a second for AAA tennis and the assessment will be for 30,000. It will be due immediately or when I get it out in the next few days, and everybody can take care of their business. It's a board vote, Wally. Yes, Wally? Yes. Peg?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Yes. So, good.
Yes and yes.
Yeah, may I ask one favor
Sure.
from the board and from our members out in the open? If you could, it's sort of difficult here, and I've been able to get at least 80% of the conversation. If you could just announce who you are, I can't physically see who's there, and that would be fine. I'd appreciate it.
Oh, who's talking in the audience?
Right, exactly.
Oh, okay. We all need to speak up a bit.
Yeah, and if you could identify yourself.
And I just want to make a quick comment about Steve.
It's more important for the identification that I'm putting checks by all the people that I really like.
Okay. Well, how do you
Thanks,
know you
Wally.
like all of them, Wally? Anyway,
Absolutely.
good, that's good. I appreciate what you said, but I also appreciate what you said, so it can't be both. Instead of saying no, which I don't agree with, I think the information should be available. And this way, there's no possibility of you're violating something, and as long as information is there, let somebody make a decision. Do you follow what I'm saying?
About what?
About the dogs on the tennis court. Because again, it's when you say no, that presents itself to be an issue. If you present the and it's not taking a side one way or the other. If you put that information out, it's not good for the dog, and it's not saying no, it's giving somebody an
Sure,
intelligent choice.
I can laminate that and post that on the gate to the tennis court.
This way,
and
but do
people
you
can
understand
choose
why I'm
to
saying that,
interpret
Bobby?
it.
Yeah, no, I do.
Okay, that's what I need you to.
That works
yeah.
great.
This way, it's not no, it's if you choose to do that, you
Yes.
understand there's a consequence.
Yes, I
Then you're not
understand
being
that
told
fully.
no.
I understand that fully.
That
Yeah,
covers,
I just-
that covers everybody.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
I understand, okay.
That the association won't be liable for hurt dogs, correct?
There you go. You see how that works? It works for both
I
sides.
understood it before that.
Okay.
This is Mike from River Terrace. I just don't think, with all the property that we have, I don't think that they should be able to let the dogs run loose in the tennis court. It's a tennis court, it's not a dog run. That's just my thoughts.
That's fine.
Not an issue.
Well, I think the idea is because it's fenced in and they can.
Well, yeah, and I could see that point. The dog run around, it gets them some exercise. There's, you know, so the two of you plus anybody else want to make a decision, then you know there's a consequence,
So I can
whatever
use
that
that
was.
fenced-in area for anything I want to choose to do in the evening. You
Well,
know,
it's not quite that.
I can take my walk around the fenced area.
If you'd like.
Yeah,
Why
I
not?
mean, what are we gonna do about it? You know, it's like Lisa brought up the dogs. Let me just take a minute about that. We've sent River Shores notices. How many, Peg? This many? Not in front of the apartments where the areas are. Most comply, some don't. So it is what it is.
And you can't control.
No.
You can't control. Okay, we're ready to move on. The next issue, the reimbursements from Middle River Club to River Shores, the monthly office use, rent, office supplies, computer, etc., Basil. It's been looked at for this last quarter. There's been itemized bills, but not everything's been on there. And then it was like in such detail, a quarter for this, 10 cents for that. It's quite time consuming. But I guess that's how professional management companies do it. So we kind of spoke off the cuff, and this is what we've come up with, a reimbursement back to River Shores of, what is it?
2819?
Well,
Okay.
we need to tackle some of these individually.
Okay.
So, in fact, I don't know if you just want to go down the list.
Okay.
How you have them listed. The office rent, $400 a month.
Mhm.
I don't even want to get into the 400, how we even got to 400 a month.
Okay.
But right now, River Bend has their office. I obviously conduct a lot of business on behalf of Middle River Club using my computer, my supplies, my office,
Mhm.
my house, whatever that is. Wally's doing the same thing for River Terrace. You're doing the same thing, River Shores, out of that office.
And home.
Seems and home. So it seems to me that we all have our offices to conduct our normal, regular board meeting stuff.
Okay.
So why are we reimbursing River Shores for an office expense here?
Oh,
at River
okay.
Close
That's a good question.
At $4,800 a year?
Well, it's kind of cheap when you consider. There's office furniture, there's electric, there's space, there's storage, there's all that stuff.
Okay.
So,
But
the
why
thing is-
River Shores? Because I'm conducting a good chunk of Middle River Club's business out of that condo
Okay.
up there.
Well, I also do it home, but that's the legal address of Middle River Club.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. Would you be willing to do all the Middle River Club business out of the office of River Bend for free?
Meaning?
Well, the
meaning you're
computer,
gonna
the
have
furniture, the electric, the air conditioning, and all
But
that.
see,
Well, that's
and
the
this is where,
management. That's the management.
Okay. So you don't want to pay it?
I don't think that
Okay.
Middle River Club should pay for an office expense, no.
Okay.
Not at all.
Thank you. Anything else on this? Wally, do you have any comment?
Yes and no, but I'll abstain for right now.
Okay. What else, Wally?
Let's talk about office supplies. So I went back and looked at the last 3 months of expenses, right?
Right.
And basically took the printing costs,
Mhm.
including what charging for a piece of paper and printing, scanning costs, envelopes, and stamps. And what I came up with was that we're averaging $18 a month. Now keep in mind that FedEx Kinko's down the street charges 17 cents to print a black and white copy.
Mhm.
River Shores charges 25 cents.
Right. That's a
And-
statute that allows that.
And within that statute, the cost of computer, printer, maintenance, ink, paper, etc. is included in the 25 cents.
Okay.
So how did we get to $100 when it looks like we're spending $18 a month?
Well, again, I think that included the phone and whatever. See, there's a full office available for Middle River Club business that's divided between the two entities. Now, whether it's 50% or 60-40, whatever, it's still available. So, for instance, if one of the residents, will use River Terrace, wants to call about Middle River Club business, they call the River Shores office phone. Well, there's a phone available. Now, does that phone cost a lot? No, not at all. But again, it's still unavailable. They have to use the elevator to come up to the office. The clicker, well, but again,
Well,
it's a, it's a business
have
expense.
So here's what here's what it feels like to me, right?
Okay.
So we have $500 a month between office expense and $100 thing for the supplies and such.
Right.
So $500 a month, $6,000 a year, and it looks like our actual expenses, which are at 25 cents a page, higher than FedEx Kinko's, are $480 a year.
Okay.
So why is River Shores trying to collect $5,500 additional dollars on all this stuff when you don't have that expense?
Well, let
you're
me
not-
ask you, are you willing to use River Bend's office and equipment to do Middle River Club business?
Well, so we've already defined our roles as to what Middle River Club business is. And the truth
Right.
is, yes, I am already using River Bend space to conduct Middle River Club business. The only
Oh.
difference would be is if you want to change the mailing address
Okay.
to River Bend
Well, people would also be entitled to go up to that office.
and visit who?
Visit, well, when they need a clicker.
If they need.
Like I
No,
just
wait,
got-
wait. Now the clicker, because this clicker thing is getting ridiculous. River Shores owns the gates, right? And has still.
do?
Yeah, you own the gates.
Oh, okay. all right, that's.
You actually own the gates, you own the front, you own all the frontage along 16th Avenue.
Okay,
So what was agreed way back when, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, the gates were put in, River Shores wanted them in.
oh,
The
I don't know
other-
about River Shore, but go ahead, I was
The
there,
other
so,
board,
but
the other
no.
boards agreed to a payment thing to reimburse River Shores for the gate expenses, right?
Okay,
But in your memo that you gave me when I first got on this board, you even state
probably.
there is a shared gate system that is on a different percentage but is controlled by Middle River Club.
Correct.
So it's not controlled by Middle River Club. It's controlled by River Shores because you guys own it.
Well, Bobby, I guess if it's in the agreement that the Middle River Club Board decides issues with it, it may be on River Shore's property, if that's what you're.
But what agreement is it in that Middle River Club? I haven't seen any agreement. It's not in the condo docs. It's not in anything else.
Oh, so do you not want to have clickers to get in here because it's ours, or what? I don't
No.
understand what you're asking.
No, but I'm trying to figure out how you're trying to put the clicker into Riverbend office and make it a Middle River Club responsibility
Okay.
when it's controlled by, River Shores.
Oh,
And it's owned by you guys. If we want to change that, then we
Okay.
should look at having an agreement that spells out exactly what everything is.
okay.
But currently, the way it is.
There's no agreement.
There was an agreement a couple of years ago signed by all three associations.
Do we
Yeah,
have- do
I
we have a
know.
copy of
It's
exactly
not
what that-
making sense what he's saying. Of course not. It's been done that way for 20-plus years. I was there up in the office. It was a whole problem to get, they wanted the thing, the two buildings wanted it, but they just didn't want to pay for it, so we did it by equal.
So,
That was a mistake. It should have been done all in Middle River Club. The fact is, you are 100% correct. 100, it is all on River Shore's property. However, since it's all used by all three associations, you do use the gate to get in here, correct?
well, you have to. You have to give me access to my condo.
You better believe it, I'm gonna give you, but you gotta pay sometimes, and there's an agreement in place.
Oh, no,
that
you do pay. So
Oh,
let's-
okay.
So let's talk, no, and we do pay by the percentage, and we reimburse
Right.
you by the percentages that were previously agreed to 2 years ago, right?
Mhm.
So the additional expenses, the clickers, what does it cost to program a clicker?
Not
What
much.
is River Shores' expense?
No, my time is free.
Time has to be
Again,
free.
Well, that's another thing that may be coming up. Anyway, they come up the elevator, they call, this morning, what's her name, from your building, she needs a clicker at 7 o'clock this morning. I'll think of Susan. So she called River Shore's office, I'll forward you the email, she needs a clicker. So that stuff is all available for the entire community to come. Any discussion, Middle River Club. So the fact that you're already using the Riverbend office for Middle River Club business, is there a computer in there? Is there a phone? I don't know what's in there. I've never been in there.
No, not at this time.
Oh, well, again, all that is provided up in that office. You have seats, you have furniture, you have all that for any business for Middle River Club, and it's a shared space.
And that office is locked quite a bit.
Okay.
But let's go back to the clickers, because that's something you've been charging $250 per program clicker. There's not a lot of expense, right? Because we don't get reimbursed, none of us on any board that we sit on, for our time.
Correct,
We only get reimbursed for actual expenses.
correct.
So why are we charging $250 per
Well,
reprogram when
first
we don't
of all,
have $250 in
There's a
costs?
computer and a telephone line and all that stuff. So the thing is, I understand
So
you
why
want
don't
it
we
all
just
free.
buy a new computer when the thing goes out
Uh-huh.
and split it amongst our percentages, as opposed to
So you
charging
want
for?
two computers, where's that second computer gonna sit?
Well, no, what I'm saying is, okay, so you're using a River Shores computer and for Middle River Club business as
Right.
well.
Everything in that
And then-
office
but then
is
Middle River
jointly
Club-
shared. The cabinets, I need a file, I need a Manila, excuse me. You see, it's not every penny, and that's the problem. It's always been done that way. You brought up, you were concerned, where was all that money going? Well, when you start really breaking it out, we were not charging enough. Now, again, we can have a discussion, is it fair to charge you folks for, the use of River Shores resources? That's, of course, could be a conversation. The thing is, it is
Well,
what
I
it
don't know
is.
why you're discussing it. If he doesn't want to pay, He doesn't pay,
May I
that's
say
it.
something?
Yes, Wally.
From New England? Listen, I agree we all want transparency, and we want monies outlined, you know. Small items, I don't think we have to be outlined in that much of a detail. Certain issues which may be questioned or negotiated between River Shores, River Bend, and River Terrace, maybe we can review some of those figures. And I'm torn because I agree to a certain degree with Tony in that, you know, the gates may be on River Shores property, but we all need access to our condos. How we divide up the cost for that and what's being spent for clickers being activated, deactivated, whatever. We can discuss that as a board and maybe decide, you know, what's fair in terms of overall pricing. But I think that's something we should take a look at together as a board.
Wally,
And,
Wally, that's kind of what we're discussing now, and just so you know, I totally agree that the gates are important. However, there should be an agreement that discusses exactly what responsibilities of everybody.
Gee, I thought that agreement was clear. I guess it's
Then-
not.
Then I haven't seen that agreement, and I would like it to be provided to me.
Well,
Okay,
as
go
I said,
online and it's available. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I don't understand
And I
what the
thought all-
problem is. If he doesn't want to pay,
All right.
don't pay.
So-
Simple as that.
The thing is, the River Shores Board kind of discussed what was
Because-
something
You don't have
reasonable.
to
Okay,
pay.
okay,
But-
stop,
But
please.
that's not the way it works, because if Middle River
Oh,
Club
but
agrees.
that's not the way it works.
Well, so, look, we're on Middle River Club right now, right? We're all
Right.
representing Middle River, so if Middle River Club votes to reimburse River Shores $500,
Right.
and if there's 3 votes that agree to that, then we're gonna have to do it regardless of what my feelings are.
Oh. Oh, well, since that's the way it's been done for the 25 years we've been here.
That's not the way it's been done, because.
Oh, no?
No, because you guys weren't charging, that's why we're having this conversation.
No, we
You
were
weren't
charging less.
$100.
We were charging less.
So-
You brought up the nickel and dime, so now we have to nickel and dime.
Okay, and now you want $400 for your office rent?
No,
and
it's not
$100
what
for
we
the-
want. It's what we have estimated that should be paid. If you don't want to pay it, you know what? You are not forced to. You don't have to. Don't do it. Of course,
Vote
there's
no.
consequences.
We're
There's
Middle River, because
consequences.
the board, yeah, I hear you on consequences.
Yeah.
Let's stop with that. The board is going to vote. I'm voicing my opinion. I'm
Fine.
allowed to have my opinion.
Absolutely.
I've stated my opinion.
Okay,
And if
so
you want to
we'll
vote
vote
on
on
it,
it.
let's vote on it.
Fine.
Well, you had other concerns you wanted to bring up, so let's go over them. See, folks, I gotta tell you, I understand. I'm here 25 years. Let's take a few minutes. Maybe we can get some clarity. There's always been a dissension between the buildings, and I don't know why. And, you know, it's certainly no secret, we're up here, I don't know, 8 years. And the prior 10 years, there was some major issues going on at the complex. So we tried to do it the neighborly way, try to get people peace and get things reorganized. It was a problem up there. And, you know, I gave an estimate, we did the estimate a few years ago, $2,700. Bobby had every right to question it, what's in it, and truthfully, I did it years ago. It's everything with Steve. Steve had to fix the barbecues, and he needed a part. I said, Steve, where's the receipt? Well, he doesn't have the receipt. He's got to get you know, we're right back where we were. Every time Steve or whatever is used, it requires a little bit extra. Middle River Club is a separate legal entity that we all share. River Shores is obviously there. So we don't have a problem giving you the resources, and it was never about nickel and diming all you folks. As a matter of fact, when we got up there like 8 years ago, it was $121,000 the budget. And then once things started getting cleared up, we actually lowered the budget so we would be saving some money. I think we got it down to 100. And then we realized that was just a little bit too much, and we raised it back to 112. The problem is, and it's been insinuated or indirectly stated like we're trying to rip you off or take advantage of a situation. Well, when Bobby brought all this up, I really didn't remember, so now we had to start nickel and diming.